I was in Bogota preparing for a shoot in the Amazon, and I just kept on noticing these little details in the streets. There was something about the life in the streets, seeing what the kids were like, the feeling of the buildings, the light, the very special atmosphere that Bogota has. And the real feeling of proper street life that we don't get in London. And also I was consumed with this desire to come back and know this city better. And there's two ways to get to know a city. One is to live there, and the other is to shoot there. I live in West London, and I was driving down the road and I saw these two kids, one tall, gangly kid and one shorter one, and they came up behind a guy and tried to pickpocket him very, very badly, popped their hands into his pocket, and he turned around, didn't know what was going on, and they didn't get away with anything at all, and they just went running down the road laughing. And it was just a really charming moment. That turned over in my head for a little while, and I began thinking about pickpocketing and the skill that's involved with it. And one of my favourite films is an old French film from the 1950s, Bresson's Pickpocket, which has very little pickpocketing in it, but deals with that world. And also Truffaut's 400 Blows, which is one of my all-time favourites. And so that all began to mix up together, and then, started to devise this story about a young bad pickpocket who meets an older guy who has the skills, and bit by bit he teaches them, these incredible tricks, almost like magic tricks, if you like, or like a kind of ballet of the hands. One of the great things about Bogota at the moment is, and probably the rest of Colombia, is this incredible explosion of music, whether it be, the bands that are more known internationally, like Bomba Estéreo or Chokib Town, down to the real street-level hip-hop acts. And I think as much as anywhere else in the world, there's an incredibly vibrant street culture and hip-hop culture. And so this notion that the guys from Quattro Direzioni brought to me, that we might somehow take my story and implant it into the scene, I thought was really refreshing and exciting. And that kind of music brings something to a film. It gives a sense of time and a sense of place, and it adds some reality to characters. So a lot of what we've been doing in recent weeks is meeting key figures in the hip-hop scene, whether it be Fresh from Bogota or El Jeque from Medellin, and these fascinating characters who really know their stuff, and trying to soak up their knowledge, and then through them we're going to spread out into the community and start auditioning people and trying to find some of the talent for this film. There's a lot of transmission of ideas and energy that can go on, and it doesn't necessarily go in one direction, it goes in two directions. So that when I was in the Amazon, there were things that Richard and Diana were learning about filmmaking from me, but by the same token, I was learning an awful lot about how to work with indigenous communities. So it became a very natural collaboration, I think, and that's something that I hope and believe that we can carry on through Fresh. That there's things that they understand about Bogota, about the people who live there, about the way they speak it, and the rest of it, that can really help me. There's things in the way that I direct and I put a film together that they'll be able to learn from me as well. So this notion of skills transfer is really important.